Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for the one and only World Improv Network comedy show on Mile High Sports Radio. Take part in the show by giving your suggestions or questions to the cast for each show segment throughout the week, or live during the show by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, on Twitter at World Improv Net, or by calling in to Mile High Sports Radio studio line. Now, enjoy the show. It's local. It's global. You're listening to WIN World Local News.
WIN World Local News on Mile High Sports Radio. I'm Potter Smittss. Breaking news into the WIN World Local News sports desk from WIN Sports reporter Fired Up Frank, who's live at the LA Coliseum in California for the WWE DNC Sanders vs. Clinton presidential campaign Smackdown. How's the Democratic wrestling going, Fired Up?
Oh, Potter, I have to say this is among the worst assignments I've ever gotten as part of this show. In my role as Fired Up Frank, I have never been more disgusted by the sights in front of me. Bernie Sanders in a Speedo, Hillary Clinton in a unitard, up on the top rope, launching themselves at each other. Frankly, Potter, it's disgusting. These people are old. They're out of shape, and I don't need to see your glistening, oiled-up skin flopping onto each other. Now, I will say, Mr. Sanders has some excellent hair, but that's not enough to make up for that rotund gut and the waves of cellulite in his thighs as Hillary slams herself into him headfirst in the gut. I don't know who's gonna win, Potter. Frankly, I've turned away and gone to the bar, so I don't have to look at this anymore. Back to you.
Wow, that sounds like a fantastic event. I wonder how that's going to all turn out. Maybe you can give us an update later on. Well, on to our next breaking story, which is brought to us by WIN contributor Chantel of Worthington, Minnesota. The infamous Colorado 420 rally, or should I say the rescheduled 521 rally this past weekend, has been the munchie catalyst for many trans-migrant, pot-puffing transplants to move to the mecca of marijuana, Denver, Colorado. Unemployed, marijuana mooches, high rollers, and average Joes alike all joined in seeking cannabis-induced enlightenment with famous syrup-slurping rap performers Wiz Khalifa and Lil Wayne. To get a complete smokeout on the 521 rally, let's go live to WIN Chief Cannabis Correspondent Chi-Chi Bong, who's still camped out in Civic Center Park in downtown Denver. Chi-Chi?
Yeah, hey Potter, this is Chi-Chi Bong, and I just wanted to update you. Well, I don't want to go on a tangent here, but something happened, and to put something off for a month and a day is just a little over my pot-smoking head, but I want to touch base on this change of date thing, and I want to talk to Carol Smythe. Carol?
Hi.
Yeah, Carol, you camped out for the entire month.
Yeah.
And tell me what that's been like being, free.
Wow. It was great. I didn't have to pay any rent, and I had 3 pounds of weed in my tent. And I just stayed high for a solid month. I'll tell you, that time flew by.
Carol, could you tell me a little bit more about those edibles,
Oh, yeah. I have made my own, tent brownies. You can make them without using heat, and I've infused them with a special strain of golden goat that they only sell here in Colorado. I call them horny goat brownies.
Carol, you're too much. I'll catch you during my break. Hey, and also I had a chance to talk to Weil Canody. Weil came all the way from Pittsburgh. Weil, how are you doing today?
Woo-hoo-hoo! I'm so excited to come all the way out here. It took me 31 days to get here anyway, so I guess it didn't really matter that it was 1 month and 1 day later than I expected. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Hey, Weil, I know this is your first big event according to the 420. Can you tell me what it's like to be a first-timer?
Well, I never get out much, to be honest with you. I'm usually camped out of my basement like the Silence of the Lambs and just puffing away. So I'm so excited to make it out here to beautiful marijuana mecca, Denver, Colorado. And boy, it's already one day past the event, I just don't want to leave. Woohoo!
Well, thank you, Wild. That was so awesome. Hey, Potter, I'm going to turn it back to you, and I'm going to go grab me an edible.
Wow, sounds like a heck of a story. I wonder if they're going to get the people out of the park at all within the next 31 days. Well, on to our next top story, which is brought to us by WIN contributor Thomas of the Joint U.S. Naval Base in Kuwait. 30 years after the release of the Tom Cruise mega blockbuster hit Top Gun, one question that everyone wants answered is, has the world become any safer since the days of Mr. Cruise gallivanting around and protecting humanity's skies in U.S. naval jets? Well, to get a full insight on this critical question of global mass security, let's go live to WIN International Affairs expert Donald Trumpet, who's in Saddam Hussein's former presidential palace in Baghdad, Iraq. Donald?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Potter. It's a pleasure to be on the air, and I could have talked to a lot of high-ranking military officials about the current state of our defense industry, but I figured why not go right to the source? And joining me right now is the Iceman himself, Val Kilmer, a.k.a. the Iceman. Now, Val, I would like to speak to the Iceman right now. Can I do that, please?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, in Top Gun, you flew an F-16 jet, but what are you flying these days?
Actually, I had a back injury from lifting some dumbbells, and I'm in rehab right now.
Oh, no.
I'm writing a screenplay, though.
Oh, now, will this screenplay help defeat terrorism?
I have a feeling that this screenplay is going to go to places screenplays have never gone before. What I mean by that is I can't talk about it, but I will talk about it because my development deal kind of fell through with Paramount. What I'd like to tell you is that things aren't good.
Oh, so your screenplay is going to address the poor state of our world right now. Now, will it provide us any ways that we can say, make America great again?
Well, what my screenplay addresses is really unemployment in a like action adventure form.
Now, is there anyone whose specific unemployment you're addressing? For instance, your own. I have not seen you around recently.
Well, I basically wanted to write a piece that I'd be the vehicle to push it through. I've talked to other people, though. Nicole Kidman said she's hot for it.
Oh, wow. Also someone I haven't seen in a movie in several years, if not decades. Wow, you're really going for all the heavy hitters, Val. Excuse me, Iceman.
Thank you.
Hey. Don't you snap your teeth at me, sir. Hey, all right, Potter, back to you.
Well, thank you so much, Donald. You're doing some good stuff over there in Saddam's palace. Well, now for a look at the global weather. Let's check in with Yucca Hurricane, who's frolicking around in the 88,000-gallon Shell oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. How's the water, the crude, and the weather looking like, Yucca?
Yes, thanks for this is Yucca Hurricane, and I have to tell you, it's so bad here that being in the Gulf of Mexico, I found a little bird and I freed him because he had he had oil and stuff on his wing. And so what I did is I take a little moist towelette and I rub his wing and I say pretty things to him like, oh, you will be fine. I like you. You are a good bird person. You are very happy and things will work out in the end. You will not die. You will work through this. You are beautiful. I know I get distracted, but little birds just touch a place in my heart that is so special for me, that remind me of a small boy growing up in a very small village where all the birds were massacred, and I carry that forward today. I'm making my mission that whatever hurricane I run into, I want to take care of the birds, and I will do that. So, Father, everything going to be okay.
Wow. Thank you for that excellent report on the weather, Yucca. And thank you all for tuning in to WIN World Local News on Mile High Sports Radio. I'm Potter Smittss. Stay tuned for Community Court next on the World Improv Network.
Give the WIN cast your suggestions via Facebook, Twitter, or by calling into the Mile High Sports Radio studio line during the break for a case that needs to be tackled during Community Court. Next on Mile High Sports Radio.